Hi everyone, this is Dr. Janet Hall, and this is a video that is a jump off of an article that I recently posted on my Healthy News. Looking at all the chaos going on these days, it makes me wonder if we've lost our smarts, believing big corporations' marketing sales pitches. We have damaged the health of entire generations believing big corp nonsense. I think it's very healthy to question everything. So this is why I wrote an article from a Healthy News called, "What is Your Health IQ?" And here's the link to that article in my Healthy News blog. It's good, guys, to question everything these days. In the article, I wrote about butter versus margarine, the safety of vaccines and whether they should be mandated or not. The question about the diet sweeteners, why they're still on the market today, is a mystery to me. I wrote about various cancer treatments, and you know what? The list just goes on and on. We could question cholesterol, we could question GMOs, we can question radiation, and we can question the safety of plastics. It just seems to be multiplying over time, whether our various industry is healthy for us anymore. Okay, so why am I bringing up butter and margarine? Why did I start with this? And it was to make a point, and a very good point. I believe that the demonization of butter was invented, and it was one of the very first attempts to push a meme on the public, and they continued to push it until we started believing it. Now, no one listening to this video is old enough to remember when margarine first came on the American market, because that was in 1870. But many of you might remember in the 1960s when margarine was heavily marketed as a solution to evil butter. Margarine was not a success in America prior to the 1960s because Americans were smart enough then to know that real butter was a healthier and it was a very historic part of everyday life. So how did we lose this intellect? Are we lowering our healthy IQs today? Well, I think so, and I think it's happening through repetitive, crafty marketing, lying to us, and dumbing us down. Margarine versus butter is such a good example for me to make, and the history of margarine is indicative of what we're looking at today with new products coming on the market. How did the margarine mean come about? Well, just like most other new inventions that are coming on the market, including vaccines, margarine was a product of war. In 1869, Napoleon needed to find a replacement for butter. The French loved their cuisine, loved their food, loved their butter. Butter was important to the troops. It kept their morale up because, it kept their daily diet going like it was back home. But real butter spoiled, and it was very expensive to ship to the troops in foreign countries. So Napoleon solicited a cheaper butter alternative that would benefit the lower classes and the military. He hired several chemists and inventors to compete with a butter alternative, and hence margarine was created. It was a cheap butter replacement that fooled the troops' palates. This leads us to fake sugars, which is, again, a repeat of what they wanted to market with margarine versus butter. I've been beating the sugar-free drum since 1991 when I almost died from aspartame toxicity. In my book, Sweet Poison, I write all about my discoveries, and if you want to raise your health IQ, read Sweet Poison and learn why chemical sugars made in a laboratory will deteriorate your health. I've written hundreds of articles about the dangers of the artificial sweeteners, and I've been sharing this information for decades to help other people get their smarts on and spread the word. Now, let's talk about vaccines, which is a nasty debate these days. But I'm a product of the 50s. So I go back to the 1950s when vaccines were not an issue. And refusing vaccines back then was never a concern for others, not even the doctors. A healthy way to look at this vaccine debate is through the way people viewed vaccines back in the day. If you chose to get vaccinated back in the day, then you had nothing to worry about, right? If you were exposed to someone who chose not to vaccinate and they indeed got sick, well, you were immune because you were vaccinated. You know what? So what's so different today, right? Many people, including myself, believe that vaccine mandates are in place to boost corporate profits and government control. I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but human safety seems to be their last concern. I believe it is healthy to question mandated vaccines. Again, go back to the 1950s, and from 1950 to today, there has been a 414% increase in the number of vaccines given to children in the USA. In 1950, a child would have received 7 vaccines by the age of 6, and parents could opt out of these vaccines with no problems. What I want you to do is go to this government website from the CDC and look at, study, research the recommended immunization schedule for children and adolescents 18 years or younger. All right, this takes us then into cancer therapy. It's a topic that I believe belongs in this group because cancer is a topic that to me is as personal as someone's religion or philosophy on life and death. How you live your life, how you choose to die, should never be a government issue. So open your mind and never judge when it comes to another's experience with cancer. And this includes our government representatives and our doctors. In my line of work, I have met many people who have stood tall against a cancer diagnosis, and you know what? They beat it in their own way. They cured their cancer using alternative methods and nutrition. This is why I wrote the Richardson Cancer Prevention Diet. It's a small book that documents numerous case histories that support this reality. And this reality is that the hardest part of curing your cancer using alternative methodologies is believing that it can be done. Okay, because I know too many people who have cured stage 4 cancer in a matter of months using cannabis oil, I want to share this website link with you. Now, I have never dealt with this website, so I'm not recommending them along the lines of personal experience or the experience of others. But I will tell you that this CannaSense website is something that is well worth your research and your time to dig into. If you are fighting cancer, if you've had cancer and want to stay clean, or if you know someone that's challenged with cancer today. This brings me to a topic that I'm very passionate about and extremely experienced with, the hair analysis. If you really want to be smart about your health, I recommend getting a hair analysis done once a year. It's a brilliant way to make sure that you've not been exposed to something unknown that could accumulate inside of your body and cause health symptoms and health problems. I was personally able to determine that my diagnosis of Graves' disease back in 1991 was an incorrect diagnosis. And having my hair analysis done was a tool that I used to help me determine this. I was then able to open many new doors when I began researching why I was sick, and this led me to aspartame as the root cause of my near-death experience. The hair analysis is just a wonderful alternative tool, and I'm a big believer in having one done. It's always good to know if you're exposed to toxins within your environment, and this way you can design solutions to remove those toxins. You can go to this link on my hair analysis program, hairanalysisprogram.com, to learn and research more about what I do and how it may benefit you. Listen, the key for you individually is to stay smart and wise concerning the things that you feel strongly about. But study the things that you know little about. Before you voice your opinions, research them. You can still hold on your opinion, but at least you're very well learned on both sides. And always remember to learn more about the things that you already know. Join me at janethall.com, which is my mother site and a springboard to all of the many things that I'm involved in and that I do, the things that I research, the things that I learn about, and that I share with you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.